So I want to talk about the importance of having a routine. I know that it is not just about having any kind of routine either. It's about having a good routine. So what I mean by routine is what you do often, what you do regular, what you do automatically. And before, we all had some kind of routine, the 9 to 5 routine, the what you did first thing in the morning routine, the what you do at the end of the night routine. Lots of routines that basically gave you structure through the day. You knew what you were doing, and it made everything go smoother because you knew what you were doing. Whereas now, where we're at is a lot of people's routine has gone down the toilet. As much as we'd like to have a routine where we're doing the things that we want to do, what instead is happening as we're in this time of transition from the norm to a new normal is that routine has gone out the window, and we're slipping into other habits, other routines where we're basically fighting fires and not necessarily having a routine because there are other priorities going on right now. So let's specifically talk about, say, your first routine being what happens in the first 60 minutes of waking up. Our routines used to be, about getting up, going to brush our teeth, getting ready for work and all that stuff. Hi, Dave. It's now... I just read just before coming on here, someone was saying, does anyone else just wake up, cry, and then eat a plate of cheese for dinner? Routine's gone out the window. We're falling into new habits that we used to not be able to get away with, and people are finding that they've got so much more time on their hands, and yet they're not able to stick to any kind of routine because all that time is being filled up by brand new priorities of homeschooling, of trying to juggle working from home as well, and worrying about friends and family and everything else that's going on right now with the outbreak. So specifically, let's look at the first part of the day. I think the most important routine for all of us, for our physical and mental health, is that golden hour, that first routine, that first 60 minutes of your everyday. How do you spend it? How does your routine look in terms of how it sets you up for the day? Typically, my routine now is 1, get out of bed, 2, brush my teeth, 3, get a freezing cold shower, which has a really good way of waking me up instantly. So freezing cold shower, that wakes me up. I'm energized. My brain is awake. And then I start my journaling. I've got some music going on, and it's basically a golden hour, or it doesn't have to be an hour, but just that first part of the day where my routine is focused on getting me into the right frame of mind before I do anything else. I totally appreciate that people have priorities like, say kids and stuff to look after, but I know that it's possible to have a pre-kids routine, even if you do have kids. I know so many clients who I'm working with right now, and they get their arse out of bed before the kids are even out of bed to go and do that thing. Say our morning warriors who are now 3 years old in terms of the program that we've been running here, and they get out of bed, they're training by 6:30 in the morning, they're done by 7:15 before the kids are even out of bed, and this gives them energy. It makes them feel better. It gets them ready for the rest of the day. They feel so much more resilient. They've moved already. They've got a good sparkle on. They've got a good sweat on, and and then the rest of the day can kind of come at them, and they feel ready for it, as opposed to the kind of routine where I personally used to have, which was get out of bed, not even get out of bed, first thing, pick up my phone, start scrolling, venture down some black hole of scrolling, and the next thing I know, my arm's gone dead because I've been lying in a funny position, my neck's a little bit crooked, and I've been scrolling for half an hour and nothing's really changed, and I'm already in other people's business. So the most important routine, I think, is what you do in those first 5, 10, 15, 30 minutes, or ultimately what you do before you start with everyone else's business. Okay, so that is the most important routine in my opinion. And then, you could sandwich it at the other end of the day in terms of what is your routine, or what does it look like when it comes to finishing the end of the day. Are you wiring yourself up? Are you psyching yourself up so that when you go to sleep you're lying there restless and you've got 1,000,001 things going on in your head? Or is your routine such that you're bringing things down, you're reducing how much screen time you're having in those, say, 60 minutes before bed? Are you reading a book? Are you doing all those things are ultimately going to help you relax, so that the routine, so that the body association is that, at the beginning of the day, I'm firing up and getting ready to get on with all of those tasks that I'm going to give myself during the day. And then at the end of the day, is it that I'm winding down now, my body is associating going to bed with going to sleep? Or is it that I'm psyching myself up and the routine ultimately not being of service to me and my physical and mental health? So yeah, that is my 2 cents on the importance of having a routine, and not just any routine, but a routine that serves you. So it is about being firstly aware of the routine that you have, because routines generally are something that you do automatically. You probably do without even thinking about it, because you've been doing it over and over and over. And because of this outbreak, because of where we are now, that has all been kind of shaken up, and there's just so much opportunity to change all of that because you've had that trigger to change, and you can now recreate those routines to help you to feel better. It's more important than ever to be looking after our physical and mental health, and if we can do that through our routines, which are built up by many daily habits that we do, if we can forge a good routine at the start and end of the day, then that middle piece of your everyday is going to go so much smoother, because you're in the right frame of mind, both physically and mentally.